everyone, Shabby Gamer here, and welcome back to the WWE 2K15 Universe Mode, and this, which is our next episode of Friday night's Raw is War. So let's have a quick look at the card I've got set for you this evening. Going to start things off with what should be a great match as Randy Orton takes on Chris Jericho. We're going to see Edge accompanied to the ring by Christian taking on R-Truth. Stone Cold Steve Austin takes on Hollywood Hulk Hogan in an Extreme Rules match. CM Punk takes on Brock Lesnar in an Extreme Rules match. And our main event this evening will be The Rock taking on Kane. So without further ado, let's get straight into our first match of the evening. Yeah, as I said, our first match will be Randy Orton taking on Chris Jericho. And here we go, we are underway. Of course, Randy Orton is now one half of the WWF Attitude Era's Tag Team Champions. Of course, himself and Batista won those belts at Judgment Day last Sunday. Of course, you can check that video out by going to the description below and you will find a link to the playlist. And then from there, you can obviously flick through, and we are looking at Judgment Day, which would have been our last video. I think it was episode number 25. It's amazing to think we got that far into this universe mode. Now, episode 25 of just one roster. I think I've uploaded up to episode 31 now, or 32 of Global Force Wrestling. So we really have poured a hell of a lot of time and effort into this universe mode, and I'm so glad that you guys are enjoying it. And of course, as long as you guys keep enjoying it, I shall keep recording and uploading, because this does take a hell of a lot of my time. So if I was getting no views and nobody enjoyed it, I wouldn't bother, I must admit, because it's a hell of a lot of work, and I'm enjoying making them, don't get me wrong, but I enjoy it even more knowing that you guys are watching it and enjoying it as well. Randy Orton now scooping Jericho up and slams him down. Of course, Randy Orton is a former Intercontinental Champion in this universe mode. He actually lost the belt to R-Truth a few months back. And R-Truth was on absolute... I don't know what happened to R-Truth. He was absolutely incredible for a chunk of time. He won the King of the Ring. He eliminated some fantastic people in that King of the Ring as well. I think he defeated Eddie Guerrero. He defeated Edge. He defeated Chris Jericho as well. And then by winning the King of the Ring, he was given an Intercontinental Championship match at the next pay-per-view, which he went on and defeated Randy Orton. So R-Truth was just unplayable for quite a long time in this universe mode, where he lost that belt a few months back to Scott Hall, I think it was, in an Intercontinental Championship ladder match, I believe. So my memory is not very good in this universe mode at the moment, because I'm recording that many episodes at once. This is my 5th episode of the night I'm recording now, so my memory just loses me very, very quickly. I'm knocking all these episodes out, and it's I just went out and brought FIFA this morning as well, so I've got FIFA sat right next to me in the plastic, ready to go. But I wanted to make sure I got all these videos uploaded for you guys, because I know I'm a bit behind with the Global Force Wrestling G1 Climax Festival. I got a bit behind on my episodes, so going to get all these recorded and get them edited and uploaded for you as well before I start kicking on with FIFA. I think I will be trying to upload some FIFA footage if you guys are interested. I think I might be doing sort of like the Be a Pro career mode, as well as just the general normal career mode as well. It's a game that I'm going to play, so I suppose I might as well record it just in case you guys are interested. So, like I say, it's going to be the same with a few more games coming up. Of course, we've got 2K16 coming out at the end of this month. And of course, I've also got Fallout 4 pre-ordered as well. So, again, both games, of course, well, 2K16 is basically what my channel's going to be based on, but the likes of Fallout 4 is a game that I really, really am looking forward to, so it's a game that I will be recording and uploading footage of, just in case you guys are interested. Jericho jumps over the top, and great bridging out there by Randy Orton into a backslide one, only a 1 count, and I will be, yeah, like I say, branching out a bit more, hopefully, when the new 2K16 comes out, as soon as I can get my feet under the table and start to kick on with the universe mode. There's going to be no major rush on next year's universe mode. On this one, I've tried to catch up extra where I can and gain a week here and a week there, just to try and catch up as much as I can, because I know we didn't start recording until sort of early this year, so we had no chance of getting a full year out of it. But next year, going to be recording much earlier on, and we're not going to rush too much, as Randy Orton with the RKO through the announce table on Chris Jericho, and what a way to start Friday night's Raw is War here for the Attitude Era roster. Jericho makes his way back up to his feet, and as I was saying, I will be trying to upload some other games as well. Things where I might just spend like one day and just blitz about 7 or 8 hours on one game, and just slowly upload that over the course of a few days. Nothing major, not many. Them sort of things probably won't be console games. I might do. I like a lot of my old-fashioned sort of 2D games on the PC. So maybe it's sort of like a few hours of Roller Coaster Tycoon or something like that, just to give it a bit more depth on my channel, really. Hopefully. Randy Orton now with a tilt-a-whirl neckbreaker, and you'd think with that RKO through the announce table, surely Jericho can't have much left in the tank now. It must be a matter of time before Randy Orton there spinning around with that neckbreaker, and that could be all here. 1, 2, and 3, and Randy Orton picks up the victory here over Chris Jericho, and what a big win that is for Randy Orton. Former Intercontinental Champion, but a big victory here over Chris Jericho. That was the neckbreaker. And for some reason we get a replay of the taunt, but we don't get a replay of Randy Orton RKO and Chris Jericho through the announce table. Oh god, these replays in this game are awful. They really are. And here's that move that really finished the match off. And I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that's also the match that that's also the move, sorry, that Randy Orton used to win the Tag Team Championships the other night at Judgment Day. Sorry, I've currently got my other computer at the moment running through the Judgment Day pay-per-view, so I can keep an eye on it. But Randy Orton sending a signal right down the screen there. Of course, I'm sure Edge and Christian will be looking for a rematch for their Tag Team Championships. I've also got something else in the pipeline that will be happening as well, moving up to the next pay-per-view. But we'll cross that bridge when it finally happens. And match number 2 here this evening will be Edge, accompanied to the ring by Christian, taking on R-Truth. And here we go, of course. Edge and Christian, former tag team champions, as I mentioned earlier on. As I mentioned earlier on in our previous match, lost the belts at Judgment Day to the team of Randy Orton and Batista. And now Edge will be desperately looking to try and get a victory here and rebuild some of his momentum. Of course, R-Truth, former Intercontinental Champion, lost the belt to Scott Hall at the, not Judgment Day, it was the pay-per-view before Judgment Day, which was SummerSlam, of course. Lost it at SummerSlam to Scott Hall in that fatal 4-way ladder match, and Scott Hall actually lost it at Judgment Day to Goldust, which is a bit of a surprise. We had a #1 contendership match the week before Judgment Day, and it was Goldust versus the Ultimate Warrior to see who would go on to face Scott Hall for the Intercontinental Championship. Goldust defeated the Ultimate Warrior and then went on at Judgment Day to defeat Scott Hall and take that championship. So quite amazing thing to happen, really. Thrust across the back there by R-Truth on Edge. And the way R-Truth's career has been going in this universe mode, you'd fancy him to defeat Edge. He's already defeated Edge once, of course, as I mentioned earlier, at the King of the Ring tournament. And there's no reason why he couldn't pull that off again here. Edge brings R-Truth back up to his feet, and R-Truth fighting back a forearm across the back. And of course, this is the first episode of the month, so we are going to see some new feuds in effect here as we move towards our next pay-per-view. One of the feuds has been requested or suggested by, I think it was Kenny DeCocker. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing your name right. I do apologise if it is wrong, but he suggested seeing Stone Cold Steve Austin versus Hulk Hogan. So that's something we'll definitely be looking at. And he's also suggested a couple of pay-per-views. So looks like our next pay-per-view in the Attitude Era will be the Great American Bash. And he's also suggested another pay-per-view called Bloodground, which is as Edge with the execution through the announce table. And this announce table is getting a beating this evening. This is the second time in 2 matches somebody has gone through it. And R-Truth back up to his feet and makes way back into the ring. And surely it's only a matter of time before Edge puts R-Truth. R-Truth's been busted open with that situation as well. And that brings us beautifully to what I was just saying. One of the things that's been suggested by Kenny is we could have a pay-per-view called Bloodground. And the theme of Bloodground would be First Blood matches and things like that. So much more hardcore based pay-per-view. And again, that's a great idea by Kenny. So actually, we might do Blood Ground next. And then we'll put Great American Bash in as our finale episode in Attitude Era. I like the sound of that. So we're going to do that. Yeah, like I say, Kenny suggested we have Blood Ground as our next pay-per-view. And then after that, we are going to have the Great American Bash as our big finale. As Edge locking in this sleep holding R-Truth. And finally, R-Truth has to tap out. Just too much for him. And it would be great actually to see as well the feud which Kenny has requested actually happening at the pay-per-view he's requested as well. It's almost like I planned it, isn't it? And there was the carnage after Edge had executioned R-Truth through that announce table, and Truth never really had much of a chance after that. He was busted open in that situation as well. And there's R-Truth tapping out to the sleeper hold there by Edge. And Edge regains some of his momentum moving forward. These two guys will be looking for a rematch for the Tag Team Championships. And I'm sure that'll be coming in the very near future. Whether that'll happen at Blood Ground or whether it happens beforehand, I'm hoping it'll happen beforehand. Maybe even next week. Keep tuned. Right, I've just double checked just to make sure that it was Kenny who suggested this feud. I was a little bit worried that I'd given him credit for somebody else's work, but it's not. This is all Kenny's idea, and of course the pay-per-view, as I said, Blood. I've lost it now. It was Blood Summit, wasn't it? Blood. Sorry, I've got this new computer and I've got a really crappy old mouse I stole from work, and it doesn't work at all. Blood Ground, that was it, Blood Ground. So yeah, that will be our pay-per-view this month. And of course our main event. Well, of course our main event will be for the WWF Championship, but Hogan versus Austin is definitely going to be one of those ones as well, and that will be a First Blood match. It's our first match on the card. Now remember, this one here this evening will be it's an Extreme Rules match, so no disqualifications, no countouts, but all pinfalls and submissions must happen within the confines of the ring. Headlock here by Hogan, but Austin fights back with that elbow to the face. And this is sort of like a battle of eras, really, isn't it? You've got Hogan, who was really the star of the 80s and the early 90s, and then you've got Austin, who was the star of the late 90s, really. He stepped up where Hogan left off when Hogan went across to WCW. Of course, when Hogan went to WCW, it never really worked out fantastically well. I didn't see a lot of WCW, I'm not going to lie. I was more of a WWE or WWF at the time lad when I was that sort of age. I never really saw a lot of WCW. I enjoyed it when I did watch it, but I think it just got very, very boring and repetitive. And I always find that when they do these sort of stables that are just a bit over the top, a bit like NWO was, they just control everything. And I think I heard somewhere, I'm not sure if this is true, but I heard somewhere that no member of NWO lost a match, I think, for like 2 years. And that just takes it away. It becomes so boring and repetitive when you start doing things like that. And yeah, it's just really frustrating. But of course, Austin over in WWE was doing some fantastic work feuding off with Vince. And that's something we could do next year. Now that Vince is back in the game, we also have Shane McMahon as well. We can do some of these feuds. Be great to see Austin versus Vince in a feud. Of course, Vince getting a bit of help from some of his friends, shall we say. But that's something we can definitely look at doing next year. And again, if you guys have any suggestions for feuds you'd like to see, just like this one that Kenny suggested, please let me know in the comment section below. I'm not gonna sort of pretend I'm gonna be able to fit them all in on this universe mode, but I'll definitely keep them all listed with your name next to them for 2K15. Obviously, give you a shout out when I use them. Sometimes I do forget, so leave me just sort of be kind if I get your name wrong, and if I pronounce it incorrectly as well. Austin now spins Hogan round. You see the weaponry on the floor now. We've got a baseball bat, we've got a trash can, we've got a kendo stick, we've got a chair. Hogan makes way back out the ring. These two guys trading kicks to the stomach, then Austin with a big clothesline. Hogan back up to his feet though. Fighting Austin away. It's a pretty slow start to this match. No one's really taken much control so far. It's a bit scrappy, shall we say. Oh, and Austin with a big stunner. But it's outside the ring. He's not going to get much of a chance to build upon it, really. And Hogan's back up and shoulder blocks Austin down. And Hogan now, you see him shaking his head, trying to get rid of the cobwebs. Under the ring, looking for some weaponry. Can't find anything. Austin tried to creep up behind him, but Hogan was aware of him. Throws Austin back into the ring. Elbow across the face there by Hogan, sorry, on Austin. What's Hogan doing here? He's just still walking around the outside of the ring, trying to get his bearings back after being caught with that stunner on the outside. Austin has got himself a chair, and right in the face of Hogan. Hogan's been busted open, and should this be our match at Bloodground in 4 weeks' time, this match will be over. It's amazing to see how quickly guys get busted open on this game. Belly to belly slam there by Austin on Hogan onto the chair. And a bulldog by Hogan on the outside as well. Hogan brings Austin up into a backbreaker. And an elbow drop to the back as well now. And I'm hoping if they do bring back this story, well, this rivalry collection thing in the universe mode, which I think they definitely should, because I think it does work quite nicely, the story collection, should I say. Then doing some more like Austin versus Vince maybe would be a great one to do, because I know it's going to be part of the showcase mode anyway, so why not have Austin versus Vince as one of these story collection. You can have quite a few Austin feuds in that story collection. These two guys now just fighting over this baseball bat, and Hogan eventually just shoulder blocks Austin down. See, I quite like this this story collector, and I think what it would be good is if I could make my own story from the story collector as well. So I could say week 1 this happens, week 2 this happens, week 3 this happens, week 4 this happens, and then it finishes in this match at this pay-per-view sort of thing. I think that'd be nice to be able to do something like that. But yeah, I'd like to see an increase of these specific rivalries. At the moment I think we've got about 6 or 7. You've got like Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. You've got Cena versus Taker. You've got Daniel Bryan versus Taker. Is it Rey Mysterio versus Del Rio? So yeah, I'd like to see more of those. Austin versus Vince McMahon would be a great one. But maybe a few more of the what ifs as well. So what if Hogan faced off against Cena, for example? And then what if Austin versus Cena? Austin versus Punk? Oh, not Punk, because Punk's not in the bloody game, is he? Trying to think now, some off the top of my head. Maybe Austin versus Ambrose would have been quite good, maybe. Or what if Seth Rollins versus Shawn Michaels? Them sort of ideas. Hogan reverses that powerbomb into a DDT. Austin's up on the ring steps there. Hogan again now, a neck breaker on the outside, and Austin's really starting to struggle here now. Hogan takes Austin out. Austin had a hold of the baseball bat, and Hogan just knocking him down before he had a chance to use it. And now Hogan with a big punch to the side of the head of Austin. And Hogan was busted open quite a long time ago now, so he's been losing quite a lot of blood, and the more blood he loses, the more energy will be depleted as well. So it's interesting, this one, as Austin continues the assault on the grounded Hogan. Brings Hogan back up to his feet. Hogan went for another shoulder block, but Austin this time just launched him over the top of his head. A trip by Austin. Sorry, a trip on Austin by... No, it was a trip by Austin, sorry. I'm losing my own mind here. I'm having arguments with myself about what's going on. Hogan with a boot to the stomach. Austin caught the leg. And there's a second stunner by Austin on the outside. But of course, again, as I mentioned, he needs to get the guy in the ring to really capitalise and be able to pin him. Austin throws Hogan in. And Austin's got hold of the ring steps. He's bringing the ring steps in with him. Austin gets around the back of Hogan. And Hogan dropping Austin face first in that front slam. Rolls Austin over for the pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. Wonder if Hogan might have got the victory there. And I wonder if we're going to get more than... I know we're getting 2 Austins. I know that at least. We're getting Stunning Steve Austin, the old Hollywood Blondes version, as Hogan here lines up Austin, and there's the leg drop. In for the pin. 1, 2, and 3, and Hogan picks up the victory. After being caught with 2 Stone Cold Stunners on the outside, Hulk Hogan picks up the victory here this evening. And I think this is the moment where Hogan was busted open. He's that chair shot straight to the face. Neck break on the outside there by Hogan on Austin as well. That's where Austin just launches Hogan over the top of his head. Again, the replays are terrible. We're seeing some really random little bits and bobs, but we've not seen either of the 2 stunners on the outside. But here's the leg drop that finished it all off. The atomic leg drop by Hogan on Austin for the 3 count. And Austin in my mind should have won this match. However, he just did not capitalise on Hogan when he had the chance. He should have got him back in the ring, hit them stunners on him and finished him off there and then. But instead, he just wanted to continue attacking Hogan and putting more damage onto Hogan. And it's ended up backfiring here as Hogan picks up the victory. And Austin starts this feud on the losing side. It's a very long celebration, this one, by Hogan. And it always ends up in that really, really sort of weird Jimmy Savile face as well. There it is, yeah. He looks even scarier with the blood, doesn't he? And here's our next match of the evening. It will be CM Punk taking on Brock Lesnar in an Extreme Rules match. And here we go. A rematch of a match that happened at Judgment Day last week. It was a great match, so I thought I'd put it together again. But not only put it together, but put it together as a feud moving forward again to Bloodground. And I think that'd be a great match for these 2 at Bloodground. I'm thinking of maybe some sort of Iron Man Extreme Rules match, maybe something along those lines. That sounds quite good for these 2. Just a full-on fight between the 2. I think that would work quite well. A good full-on fight between these 2. They're both great wrestlers, don't get me wrong, but I think as a brawl it works even better. I think these 2, of course, Brock Lesnar, former MMA star and UFC champion, of course, CM Punk training hard to become an MMA fighter, but I think that's the way we should go, really. Maybe we can lock him in a Hell in a Cell, maybe as well. What if you can do? What if you do a Hell in a Cell Extreme Rules Iron Man match? We'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Punk with a tilt-a-whirl into the DDT on Brock Lesnar. Now gets from the back of Lesnar, but Lesnar catches him with that belly-to-belly slam. Remember, again, this is an Extreme Rules match. No countouts, no disqualifications, no rope breaks. And pinfalls and submissions must happen inside the confines of the ropes, or in the ring as people call it. Neckbreaker by Punk here on Brock Lesnar. And of course, Lesnar will be used as a current day wrestler next year on my 2K16 roster rather than on the Attitude Era. I could use him in both, I suppose, but he's more... He wasn't really in the Attitude Era, I suppose, so we'll use him as a current day wrestler, I think. And we could do that in this universe mode as well, I suppose. We've still got 2 months worth of current day roster left. Current day is going to be the last episode we upload, so still got 2 months, still got 2 we've got 3 pay-per-views actually. We've got Night of Champions next week, then we've got 2 more pay-per-views after that. So maybe we could do something with Brock Lesnar before the end of the universe mode. I'm going to say I'm not sick of, but John Cena has been the champion of our current day roster for a long time, and it's my own fault because he lost the belt to Daniel Bryan in the first pay-per-view. However, I decided it would be a good idea to give Cena a rematch at the second pay-per-view. then Cena won the belt back, and he's held it ever since. So I think it'd be nice to have a bit of a change there. Of course, we will see Cesaro taking on Cena at Night of Champions for that championship. And maybe you'd have to check out current day rosters Monday Night Raw next week, because as we saw last week, Kane defeated Cesaro. And Cesaro, of course, is the #1 contender. So methinks Kane may get an opportunity to prove himself worth being put into that match. So again, be sure to keep an eye out for that. And like I say, Brock Lesnar has a potential to bring back over the next 2 months, as well as Dean Ambrose, as already mentioned, will be making his way back there as well. So, of course, as one door closes, another one opens. As Caesar W bows out in a few weeks' time, the likes of Dean Ambrose will move. RVD could move into the Attitude Era for a little bit as well. Sabu could move across here for a while. So, yeah, as CZW finishes, we're not going to get rid of everyone. The other guys will probably disappear into some other rosters just for a little bit of time until the end of the universe mode. As Punk now taking Brock Lesnar out with his chair. Just repeated blows. But Lesnar's back up, and Punk gets caught with a fisherman suplex. Now Lesnar going back underneath the ring. What's he looking for? Looked like he was just about to grab something. He does. He pulls a baseball bat out. Dropped it though as Punk caught him before he got a chance to use it. Two guys locking up again on the outside. Lesnar with a big punch to the face of CM Punk. Punk with a beautiful enziguri. Lesnar back up to his feet and catches Punk in that front chancery, but Punk with a knee to the stomach and follows up with a DDT on the outside. And of course Punk was busted open pretty early in this match. And one thing I would just like to... This is completely random. I must say this, completely random. As I said earlier on, I've just got FIFA earlier on today, so I will be playing a bit of that later on. But I've only got one plug socket, so I can't plug the PS3 and the PS4 in at the same time. And what I've just sussed out is that you can actually charge your PS4 controllers on the PS3. Which I don't know if anyone knew that or not, but I thought I'd try it and it seems to be working. So yeah, as I said, completely random. Completely ignore me. It doesn't really make much difference, does it? If you've got a PlayStation 4 and you wanted to know that, then there you go. You found out now. We'll be playing a bit of FIFA this evening while I'm editing these videos, because it takes a while to load while you're doing the editing. So while I'm doing the editing, I can play a bit of FIFA and get used to it. This is my first FIFA game in about 3 years, so I'm about due a new one, so it's going to be good. Really looking forward to it now. I've been sat there looking at the case and the plastic now for the last 5 hours, so while I'm recording these videos, so I'm really looking forward to having a little go on that. And like I say, I will be trying to upload some of my FIFA footage as well. But I will warn you, I'm not like a lot of these FIFA YouTubers. I'm not very good at FIFA at all, so be a bit fun though as Punk hits Lesnar with a GTS. Could that be all here? No, Lesnar kicks out of the GTS. Clothesline to the side of the head of CM Punk. Step of enziguri again, and you see the amount of blood inside the ring. That's just from Punk alone. No, it's not. It's from both, sorry. Lesnar's busted open as well. I didn't see that. Both of these guys busted open now. And I tell you what, we've seen a lot of blood this evening. We're talking about Bloodground, our next pay-per-view, suggested by Kenny in the comment section. And now I think we've seen blood in every single match so far this evening. It's been a bloody war it has this evening. And it's going to continue here as Lesnar locks CM Punk in with a Kimura lock. Is Punk going to have to tap? No, he doesn't. This match continues onwards. Lesnar now is going to go for a neck breaker, but turns it round into that chop across the chest. And now the punches to CM Punk is grounding. You just see the more blood dropping out of Punk here. Both these guys losing a lot. Look at Punk's forehead. He's absolutely covered in blood. There's a stroke style move there by Punk, and then follows it up with a springboard elbow drop on Lesnar. In for the pin. 1, 2. Only a 2 count. I've never seen that much blood on these guys in this game at all. You see the small cut on Lesnar's head. I never realised there was different grades of bleeding on this game either. So you see the small cut on Lesnar's head, and if you see Punk, his entire face is almost bright red now. Drop toe by Punk, and I'm sure the amount of blood that Punk's losing, he can't last a hell of a lot longer. The energy must be sapping out of him noticeably. Punk finds his way back up to his feet though, and now throwing Lesnar into the corner. Thought about it for a few seconds, and now goes for the submission hold there, using the ropes to his advantage. A move that Tajiri used to use quite a lot, the tarantula. Belly to belly suplex by Lesnar on Punk, and Punk landed on the sledgehammer, but it's still only a 2 count. Punk is still in this one. Lesnar throwing Punk into that corner. And now a big German suplex, and again Punk lands on that sledgehammer. Oh, and here comes insult to injury. Brock Lesnar has the ring steps. Slides him into the ring, and this could be a dangerous situation. This for Punk, or maybe not, as Punk catches Lesnar straight up on his shoulders. There's the second GTS of the match, and that's got to be all, surely. 1, 2, and 3, and CM Punk defeats Brock Lesnar here. What a great win for CM Punk. A neckbreaker by Punk on Lesnar. This is the part where, I think this is where Punk was busted open. There it is, yeah. The guitar from the crowd straight across the forehead of CM Punk. I think I was talking other random stuff at that point in time. Lesnar locking in the Kimura lock. Wasn't enough to finish Punk off. This was the pin after the belly-to-belly suplex. I might be wrong. And there's the pin from the second GTS. CM Punk victorious here in this bloody battle between these two. And Punk showing his respect for Lesnar, and Lesnar's having none of it. Slapping the hand of Punk away. And this is by no means the last we've seen of these two. And just look at the amount of blood on Punk's face. Oh, I've never seen so much on this game. And now it's time for our main event here this evening as The Rock takes on Kane. Oh, and here comes our WWF champion here, Shawn Michaels, making his way to commentary. And here we go with our main event, The Rock versus Kane. And of course, Shawn Michaels here at ringside. Obviously scouting his potential opponents for Bloodground. I'm eventually going to remember that name of the pay-per-view. I have to look at the next screen beside me. Great Saito suplex by The Rock. Brings Kane back up to his feet. Twisting the arm of Kane. And now a neck breaker by The Rock. Sets it up, and there it is. And The Rock is someone who hasn't had the championship in this universe mode as yet. And he'll be looking to... The Rock's had no championships in this universe mode so far. And he is obviously one of the top wrestlers in this universe mode. So he'll definitely be looking to have a go. Great neck breaker there by The Rock. And I think I said on Judgment Day, I'm thinking of maybe having this pay-per-view. And then for the last month or so, no matter what happens in this pay-per-view, for the last month or so, I think we're going to go Shawn Michaels, Triple H. Of course, at the moment, they're in a tag team. They're both part of Evolution. However, I'm thinking for the finale, I don't think we can get much better than Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. And maybe even Rock versus Austin as well. But again, if there's anyone you'd like to see face off in a feud for our finale, or even at this, this pay-per-view, we already got our 3 feuds sorted, but yeah, if there's anyone who you'd like to see in a feud in this Attitude Era, please let me know in the comment section below. If I can't fit them in this year, I'll definitely keep note and use them in 2K16. Kane starting to try and take some control in this match. Another running DDT by Kane. I tell you what, it's getting bloody warm in my living room now, I tell you. Who needs to put the heat on the winter when you've got a PlayStation 3? That thing throws out so much heat, it's unbelievable. Kane throwing Rock into the corner. Rock reverses, gets on the back of Kane here. And a reverse DDT, dropping the head of Kane onto his knee. And of course, I think next year's going to be a lot more fun. I think we're gonna we're gonna do things a bit more sparingly. People like the Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and Chris Jericho in the current day roster, and Sting as well. We'll use them here and there. Maybe we'll use them in turns. Each get a few months, and then they disappear for a few months, and come back for a few months, sort of thing. I think that'd be a good thing to see. As Kane takes the Rock up and hits him with a powerbomb. One, and only a 1 count. And of course, we do have the opportunity as well with Kane. There's several different Kane either models or attires on the game. I've asked that question already. I'll ask it again now just in case anyone knows. But obviously, there was a video released the other day called "The Many Faces of Kane" in 2K16, and it shows 4 different Kanes. But I want to know, if you guys know, I want to know if they were 4 separate Kane models, separate characters, or whether that was one Kane with 4 different attires. That's what I want to know. If you guys know, then please let me know in the comment section, because it's a question that's really annoying me at the moment. It'd be great for me to know, because if I know exactly, then I can plan to have a Kane in different universe mode brands. If not, then obviously we'll have to share a Kane across 2 or 3. As Kane has the Rock by the neck, hoists him up and chokeslam by Kane. This could be all 1, 2, and 3, and it is. Kane defeats the Rock here in our main event of Friday Night Raw is War, and that could have just made our feud a little bit more complicated. And this is 2 brands now. Kane's done this in the current day roster as well. He's defeated our #1 contender for the WWE Championship. And I'm going to give Kane an opportunity next week on Raw to earn himself a place in the Night of Champions main event. And it looks like we could be doing the same thing next week here in the Attitude Era, as Kane defeats The Rock, that big chokeslam, with Shawn Michaels, our WWF Champion, at ringside. Kane here standing over his wounded opponent. Great victory for Kane, and that's completely just thrown him into the title picture, like I just said. And we'll have to see what happens next week. Alright guys, that is the end of this episode. I hope you've all enjoyed it. Again, some very, very interesting matches. We've discussed our next pay-per-view and our next feuds as well. So it looks like it's going to be a pretty good month. I'm pretty happy with it. I hope you guys are as well. If you could like this video, absolutely fantastic. Helps me a lot. And of course, subscribing is just amazing for me. That really does help. I've been Shabby Gamer. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you've all enjoyed it. And goodbye.